The universe isn't just out there, it's interacting with you. Claim your power by embracing the unknown. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, and I'm here to ignite your curiosity. Don't just listen, embrace it. Have you ever reached this point in your life where you're just done with certain things? One day you're going along, everything is fine. You love your life, you love the choices that you're making. And you wake up the next day, and for whatever reason, your whole attitude has shifted. And you literally think to yourself, I cannot do this one more day. And for each of us, we probably have different things that we just can't stand to do. Like we can have one of those Mad Lib books and fill in the blank as to whatever that is that we can no longer participate in, excuse, accept, just whatever happened in the middle of the night. Everything about that one thing has changed. I have been slowly getting to that place with my hair. I have very thick hair. It grows very fast. And I have been on this journey over the last 15 years, this spiritual journey. And all of that work has been taking place internally where I'm changing, or maybe changing isn't the best word, but I am stripping away the layers. I'm going deeper. I am reconnecting to parts of myself that I'd forgotten about, that I left along the way, that didn't seem important. You know, when you're carrying a lot of responsibility sometimes in life, you set things down and it doesn't seem that important, like why you stopped doing that one thing. But now I'm realizing, no, that's really important. And I set down things that I shouldn't have, and I continued on things that weren't really important, but I thought they were going to matter in the end. All of this work I've been doing on the inside, and I feel different. But those changes that I'm making on the inside, nobody can see those. I mean, maybe they can see a little bit in how I show up or how I respond or how I don't, but they're not really visible to the outside world. And I feel inside like I'm at a really good place. I've stripped away the bullshit. I have pulled back the layers. I don't feel like there's parts of me that are really hidden. Like I'm past this uncovering point. I'm past this rediscovering. Like I've rediscovered and I've uncovered so much that now I can just move through whatever my hobbies are. I can move through the things that bring me joy. I'm not sitting every day contemplating, how do I bring joy into my life? Because I know what that is now. The last part of this journey is this outside version of me. It doesn't fully match the inside version of me. And I remember being back in my 30s and being this nuclear family unit. You know, you've got the 2.5 kids, the dog, the minivan, all of these things that identify you as this traditional nuclear family. That whole design then requires us to look a certain way. I mean, that's just being honest. That there's also this expectation of how we look. And we can translate that into the professional world as well, that there is a specific requirement for how we present ourselves in different facets of society, whether it's a family, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're an artist, whether you're a professional. I mean, when we say all of these career paths, I'm sure you're just like me, and the images of the women in these roles, you have this image in your mind, and that's pretty traditional. Like a professional woman has to present herself. Her hair is styled and presented in a specific way. She is supposed to dress in a specific way. And there aren't really deviations from that. Like if you don't present yourself in the way that society expects, a lot of times you don't get to move to the next level. And for so long, I feel like I have been playing that game, especially with my hair. And going back again, I have very thick hair. It grows very fast. For me to maintain a specific style and look, I have to go to the salon every 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks like clockwork. Like if I don't, then the growth starts showing, the natural hair color starts showing, and the style isn't maintained. I have been begrudgingly embracing my hair journey. I push it. I don't go get a cut every 3 weeks. Sometimes I color my roots because it is extremely costly. So I did the math the other day, and living here in the Midwest where supposedly things are cheaper, supposedly there's this belief that we don't spend as much here in the Midwest. On average, for me to get a full color and cut every 3 weeks, that is $200. And then I did the math, every 3 weeks means that I'm on average getting 17 a year. 17 times 200's $3,400 that I am expected to do for society so they know how to respond to me. Like that's my minimum for me to maintain a hair that is acceptable and approved by somebody else's standards. To say the least that I have struggled with this, I mean, this is one of those ongoing dialogues that I have with myself. Why do I have to do this? This is a lot of work. And I was still doing it. And I was mad every few weeks when I had to do it. It's just a process. When I go to the salon to get my hair done, it's a 3-hour chair session. That's if I don't connect with the stylist. If I connect with the stylist and she's chatty, it takes even longer. And then they're like, wow, this took longer than I thought it was going to be. But they were talking the whole time. So then it's even longer for them to finish the process. And that's not with just one stylist. I've had that happen with several. So then I try not to talk because it's like, just get this done. And I woke up recently and it was like, I can't do it anymore. Something has to change. I am not this version. Like my hairstyle is not matching who I am at a core. And you know what? You can do whatever you want. And this isn't a judgment against you about how you present yourself. Because the last thing that I think we want to do as women is tear each other down. Everybody is on their own journey. And I don't look at women and think, oh, they're coloring their hair, they sold out. I don't think that when I look at you. But when I look in the mirror at my own self and my own journey and where I'm at and what I feel like I'm representing, there's a part of me that has been feeling like I'm still selling out. I'm still believing and participating in this ritual to present myself in this young, youthful way. And when I was younger and more youthful, it was fine. I didn't have a problem with coloring my hair when I was in my 30s because I still felt young and youthful. and flirty and whatever, adjective you can throw along with that. But now it feels like I'm selling out. And with a lot of this stuff that's coming out in society and some of these designated monopolies that have, I don't want to say demanded, but certainly forced onto women that, if we want to climb the corporate ladder, if we want to be perceived as sexy and desirable to men, we have to present ourselves in a certain way. And we do it. I did it. I wanted to be perceived as a strong, capable woman. And I presented myself in ways where I was hoping that I was going to be perceived just as capable as a man and given opportunities. And I feel like I played that game. But the reality is so many women were still trying to break through. It's all a ruse. It didn't get us anywhere except to be objectified. That wasn't the trait and the quality that actually got us ahead in the business world. It was our savvy instinct. It was our communication ability. It was our ability to bring people together. It wasn't really about the clothes that we wore. I mean, it's not really. It makes everybody in the room feel better if we look like them, but we don't typically get promoted because we wore a nice suit. That's not what the qualities that they're looking for, even though that's how it's perceived. And so I feel like it's been a game that hasn't gotten me farther in life. I've had this probably the last year where I have reluctantly continued on with the coloring and the cut and the styling. But I mean, I would say even the last couple of years, every time I went to the salon, that was a discussion that I would have with the stylist. Like, how can I go natural? How can I give up this process? And of course, that's their livelihood. I mean, they don't want women to wake up and start rejecting hair color. I mean, that's going to cut their income down significantly. Those are not the people that I need to be asking advice to. But I would have this discussion like, how can I get there? Oh, you don't want to do that. You're going to look so old. It's just going to drain all of the color out of your face and you're going to look old. And since I moved, I again was forced to be at this point in my life where, again, I'm finding a new stylist. I can spend $200. I don't want to. I don't love it. And it irritates me. It irritates me to the core of my being that I feel like I'm still trying to participate in this world. I'm spending a lot of money to participate in this world, and it's not getting me anywhere. Like, it's actually counterproductive to who I want to be and what I want to stand for. Like, it's doing the opposite. When I talk about being self-empowered, I mean, I know society wants us to present ourselves in specific ways, but when I'm looking for somebody that I am seeking advice from, I don't look at how they present themselves. That's not the most important quality for me. Their words are important. What they say is important. How they live their life, their choices are important. And how they present themselves is a lot farther down on my list of priorities. And so when somebody says, we need to present ourselves in specific ways, we don't need to, but we do. And people support you if they really connect with you. So I found a new salon last week. And when I went in for the initial consultation, that was my discussion was, I want to go more natural because my hair had been looking yellow to me. It was extremely long. It takes 30 minutes to blow it dry when I wash it. It takes at least another 30 minutes for me to flat iron it. There's a lot of heat on it. There's a lot of product on it to get it smooth and looking the way that it does. And time is so important to me, and it's just not what I want to focus on. And so when I had this discussion with the new stylist, she was again like, oh, you don't want to do that. You're going to look so old. And my response this time was, but I kind of am old. I mean, that's where I'm at in life. Like, I don't want to present myself or try to even compare myself to a 30-year-old version of me. And I even went back to, I was looking for a different picture, but in the process, I thought, you know what? As I'm doing this hair journey, let me just kind of go back, because we forget. We have these visions in our head, but until we see pictures, we forget how we really looked. So I went back to my baby pictures where I was 2 years old, and it was a light sandy blonde. And I was surprised at how light it was. It wasn't even a brown. And then as I got into my teenage years, it kind of had a darker brown, but a reddish tint. But certainly in the summertime, when I was out in the sun, I would get those streaks of blonde. It would naturally highlight. And then I remember in my late 20s when I started to see the gray hair come in because my mom grayed early. And I started coloring it. And I was shocked to see how brown it was. Like, the hair color that I was using was entirely too brown. I thought I looked really good at that point, but now looking back, it's like, oh my God, what was I thinking? It didn't look natural. It looked way too brown for my fair complexion. As I'm going through this hair journey, I had this discussion with the stylist. Like, I went back to look at my natural hair, and I'm over this. Like, I want a more natural hair color. I don't want to be worrying about the growth. I don't want to be worrying about all of these things that I'm worrying about because I don't care anymore. It's not me. I'm not trying to be a different version of me. This whole journey has been about me being the authentic version, like it or not. My hair isn't about you. My gray hair isn't about you. And why should I be afraid of looking like my own age? Like, am I not going to get invited to something in society right now? Am I not going to get something because I look my age? Like, what have we been participating in? I mean, I bought into it. I've bought into it. And like I said, I don't feel like anything that I have around me, I achieved and I got because I was coloring my hair. Like, that is the last thing that I am going to celebrate at the end of my life. Well, I did this because this is a period in my life where I colored my hair. Like, nobody says that. Nobody says that. And again, I'm not judging you. This is all of these internal dialogues that I have been having. And it's, again, trying to strip away all of these expectations that I picked up along the way. Like, nobody told me that I had to do it, but I picked it up and I carried it on this journey. It's now getting too heavy for me to carry this any farther. And I got several inches cut off last week. And of course, the stylist was like, we can't just go full gray. Well, we could, because I can buy a box of hair color in a store that's going to just cover everything. I mean, it's going to be a flat gray, but I'm so irritated. But whatever. I agreed to let the stylist do this process where there was an undertone and a couple of different highlights, and there was pieces in there where she stripped out all of the color. And it's not even going to perfectly match my natural color because, I'm not at that age where it's a complete Snow White. I had this moment before the process was complete. Like, I guess if I don't like it, no big deal. I can just color it again. It's not like it's the end of the world. As I'm handing my card over to pay the bill that's over $200, again, it's just more about the things that we as women have had to do to participate in this world. That has nothing to do with my heart, my soul, who I am, what I stand for, my character. That has nothing to do with who I really am. And there was no regret. When I walked out and I'm on the process of being more natural with my hair, it was this moment of just like settling in. It's okay. The world didn't stop spinning. Nobody freaked out. What's specifically ironic is the people closest to us who are supposedly supposed to love and accept us even more are the ones who have the biggest reactions. I can go into any store where nobody knows me. They don't care how I show up. They don't care what clothes I'm wearing, how I look. They don't know me. They have zero expectations of how my hair should or shouldn't be. And this should be like one of those easier transformations to really make because it's considered superficial. The hard internal work where I try to look at my own responsibility and where I am and what I do and how I show up. Those are considered the hard steps to accomplish. They weren't as hard as this external journey. It was much harder for me to reach this point where I needed to change how I present myself. And I can only say that that is because there was a fear that maybe I would be rejected in society. But I don't show up in the world and expect everybody to like me now. So it's no different. I don't know. There was just a lot more emotional charge around this process than I would have ever imagined. This isn't the thing that I want on my tombstone. Oh my God, she always colored her hair perfectly. And that's how I have to look at these kind of things. Like, it's okay, Tracy. It's okay. Those standards are somebody else's and they can have their standards. Like, I don't need to be friends with everybody now. So if somebody doesn't like me because of my hair color, that's okay. When I got home, my fur babies were like, when are you going to feed me? They weren't like, oh my God, what did you do to your hair? Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at More Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.